All right, all right. Let's get everything set up, situated. All right, there we go. Greetings, greetings. Welcome back to the Weekly Awakening. And today's Dreamwalkers Live, we're going to be talking about reoccurring dreams and what reoccurring dreams are. So first off, let's, like always, jump into what dreams are. So our dreams are messages to us from our inner self on speaking to us on how we're using our mind, because it's coming from a message from our inner teacher, reflecting back to us what's occurring within the subconscious mind. And so as you experience your dreams, it will give you insight into how you're either consciously or unconsciously using your thoughts and to create yourself and to create your life. So that's what I love the most about dreams, because it's the greatest tool that I have for self-awareness and knowing myself. So I can take a look at my dreams and see different things that I'm manifesting. Where's that at in the process of manifestation? I can take a look at different parts of myself that I was unaware of. It can shed light on that and bring more awareness to that. So that I'm more conscious and more in control of changing any unnecessary or unneeded or unproductive parts of myself. So that's essentially what dreams are. And like I said, dreams are occurring within your subconscious mind. So as your body goes to sleep, your consciousness moves from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind. And so your environment then is in the subconscious realm. And so you're pretty much just looking around and observing what is occurring within your subconscious mind. And so how we're able to use the interpretation of dreams, how we derive at that, is that our dreams are occurring in a language, and it is a language of images. So we would take a look at an image and find out what the function of that image is, and then how that relates to the self. So like for light, for example, like I was saying, shedding light on things. Light symbolizes awareness. Because that's the function of light. It makes you aware of everything around you. If it was dark right now outside, you wouldn't be able to see anything that's going on around me. You would maybe hear my voice, but you wouldn't be able to see me. I could be on this video making funny faces at you, and you wouldn't be aware because there wouldn't be any light. But since there is light, you are aware. And so how that reflects to the self or the mind is that light in your dreams will symbolize mental awareness. So you want to kind of look at that, what's occurring with the light. Is there a lot of light? Is there no light? Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? Different things like that. And so that's kind of, what your dreams are and how you would interpret your dreams. And kind of a little bit early on, we were talking about the purpose of why you would want to interpret your dreams. So today, like I said, today's episode is going to be on recurring dreams. So dreams that are happening over and over again. And so that's kind of what we're going to go into today. Feel free to, pop up with a question at any time here. Actually, my Instagram people. There we go. I'll try to move you to the side. I got all the questions were hidden and things. There we are. All right. So recurring dreams are essentially just giving you more insight into a message that is happening over and over again. Something your subconscious mind is trying to tell you continuously over and over again. And so we'll kind of go in a little bit about recurring dreams, go over a few of the most popular, not really popular, but most frequent recurring dreams that I hear people expressing to me, that they have. There's quite a few that are fairly recent, that happen fairly frequently. And so recurring dreams, the purpose of a recurring dream is because if my subconscious mind is trying to give me a message in order for me to change something about myself or how I'm using my mind, in order to walk more into who I'm wanting to become and who I desire to become, or the life that I desire to live, then I need to pay attention to that. And if I don't pay attention to that, then it's just going to give me the same message until I do pay attention to it and implement the things that it's sharing with me into my life. So it's just like, if you're late on a bill, you'll get a message, and if you don't pay attention to that message, they'll send you another message. They'll send you the bill, say, hey, you got something due. Hey, you're late on this. hey, we're gonna cut off this service that we're providing, or something, And so you'll get continuous messages because you're not paying attention. And so until I do pay attention to that message, and not only receive the message, but implement what it's teaching me into my life, then nothing is ever going to get solved. And so it's like, so like with that bill, you keep on getting this message, and then the next thing you're getting an eviction notice, or your phone's getting cut off, or your TV's getting cut off, or your electric's getting cut off, And so something ends up happening, even though you got received messages leading up to that, the same message over and over leading up to that. And so it's like a dream, So like say you have a dream of a car wreck happening over and over again. I've had 4 or 5 different dreams of a car wreck happening in the last 3 weeks, And so you want to look at what's a car as a vehicle, the vehicle that we use in order to reach our destination, reach our goals each day when we get into the vehicle. So that's going to be similar to the physical body. The physical body is the vehicle that the soul or spirit uses in order to reach its goals in life. And so if there's a car wreck happening all the time, then that's going to symbolize kind of some sort of damage that is coming and manifesting into for the physical body. And so this is occurring in the subconscious mind, so it hasn't yet moved all the way down to the conscious mind and physicalized yet. So it's not something that has actually manifested, but it's something that's coming. And so because we receive this dream, then we can pay attention to the message of the car and then figure out, depending on the other things that are going on in the dream, the other symbols, what is occurring within that dream, or what am I doing with my physical body in order to change that, in order to bring about healing so I don't get sick. But if, like I said, if you're getting that message of having a late bill, eventually that service will get cut off. So it's the same thing. If I'm getting this message of a car wreck dream happening over and over again, but I don't try to identify how I'm using my mind that's going to create this illness or sickness or dis-ease, then I'm going to keep on getting that message. I'm going to get that message again. I'm going to get that message again. And then until eventually, I get sick. And, I've received plenty of messages, and so then I get sick. And so, I had plenty of time to avoid that if I had only put my attention on the dreams that I was receiving. And so that's kind of an example of recurring dreams, and kind of the importance of how that'll kind of play out. Most of the time, it's not, in the sequence of like 3 weeks and something like that. A lot of times, most often, the recurring dream that I hear, the most recurring dream is like being chased or running from something. Some people, until I started paying attention to my dreams, I had dreams like that ever since I was a little kid, ever since I can first remember my first dream. And a lot of people, that's a lot of their recurring dream. That dream's happening to them over and over and over again every single night. Not really every night, but every time they're remembering the dream, every few weeks. It's or someone chasing them or something. And so, like I said, every person, place, or thing within a dream is going to represent an aspect of yourself. So if a person or place or thing is a part of myself, then what I'm running from is a part of myself. I'm just running from a part of myself. So that might look like, early on when I really started to work on like meditation and dream interpretation and things, I became really self-aware and more aware of myself and how I was reacting to things versus like responding to them. And so I'm a Taurus, bullheaded, stubborn. And so I was also like very hot-tempered, hot-headed. And I would be quick to anger real quick. But whenever that would happen, afterwards I would kind of like dismiss it. And, that's not really who I am. I'm a nice, kind-hearted person. That's not really, that was just something that just kind of came up. It was because of that other person that made me react like that. That's not really who I am. And I would often have dreams of like running for myself. So I'm wanting to avoid and not wanting to turn around and face that is a part of who I was. And until I did do that, then I wouldn't have been able to change that part of myself, which I did. People that know me now, they can't even believe that that's how I used to be whenever I explained that to them or described that to them. And so that was a way that I was having a recurring dream. And eventually I paid attention to what was happening in that dream, identified it, and then it was a lot easier because then as that emotion would come up, it became a lot easier to realize, wait a minute, I'm getting angry for no reason. Why am I angry at this person, for something that they've done? How am I allowing them to control me, because they're able to do things and it's causing a reaction in me that I can't control. So I would slowly be able to identify it in order to change it, until I did that enough to where it was easy to see that I was just responding in a different way, until it just became natural to not to respond to things in a different way than with anger, but none of that would have ever happened if I never paid attention to that dream, and I would have never had the opportunity to pay attention to that dream if it did not keep happening over and over and over again, until the moment came when I was ready to pay attention to my dreams and was able to find out what that dream meant in order to identify what I needed to change. So that's a big dream that a lot of people have, that kind of reoccurs over and over. Another big one is going to school, or being at school, or already graduated high school but going back to school, or being at school and receiving a lesson and you just didn't study, but there's you got to take a test right now, or just maybe one of those two things, like going back to school, or being back in high school, being back in college, even though you've already kind of graduated in the physical. So our lessons in life occur all the time, all day long. We have an opportunity to learn from every experience, and that's kind of how you succeed at things, because failure is just a matter of non-learning. So if you're not learning from something, then that's the only way you can fail. So in order to succeed, then, is to learn from things. So you're learning from your life experiences. So we're presented with these life lessons all the time. It's just like being in school. You start out at 7th grade, learning 7th grade math. And until you pass the lessons in 7th grade math, you aren't going to move on to 8th grade math. But once you move on to 8th grade math, you study that, you learn that, and you apply that, what you've learned in the test, and then you move on to 9th grade math. So you take these lessons, and if you don't pass 8th grade math, once you take the test, then you just redo 8th grade math. You might move on to 9th grade, but they're going to put you in the class for 8th grade math. And so life is exactly like that. If I have some sort of life experience and it provides me an opportunity to understand forgiveness, go into a deeper understanding of what forgiveness is. If I don't really learn that through that experience, that's okay. We all have free will, so we don't have to learn that. But destiny is a key. And so if I've created that as something that I need to learn in this life, then I will just end up having another experience that provides me another opportunity to understand forgiveness. But if I don't choose to learn it then, or if I don't learn enough of it, maybe I learn a little bit more, but I still have more to learn, then later on in life, I'm going to have the same opportunity to learn that same experience over again. But if I'm still, you have this old lesson that I'm needing to retake the test on, then that's going to show up in a dream of you're going back to school and retaking the old lesson. You're going back to school and learning a new lesson. So that's a lot like, having a new lesson, another lesson in life, teaching you the same old lesson. I've said to a lot of different people before, because it's the most, open and it's the most, in your face of this experience for me in my life was, I had a job where me and my manager did not get along at all. It was always button heads, and I had a terrible relationship with this manager. Nobody else really had other people did, but not everybody did. So it clearly wasn't, just this manager. It was how I was responding, reacting to him. So I had a lot to do with it anyways. But anyways, my experience was I did not like him, and I hated it. And so my solution to it was to find a new job. And so I talked with a friend who was working somewhere. They got me in at their job, and I loved it. It was great. I was making more money. The manager there was absolutely the best manager I've ever worked for to this day. But what happened was that manager was so good of a manager that they got a promotion and became the regional manager out in New England. And that was only like 3 months later. And then the new manager that they brought in ended up being exactly like the old manager. And so here I am, presented with the opportunity to have the same lesson. Totally different person, totally different environment, but the exact same lesson is there. And that's what, it was when I was like first studying, metaphysics, self-awareness, meditation and things, concentration and dreams and stuff. And that's when I really was able to see, wow, if I don't learn this lesson now, then all I'm going to do is put in all the same work to create another scenario in order to get to this point, because it wasn't like right away with that new manager. It was like that. It took time to develop and trying experiences in order to get to the point where it was exactly like the other place. So it's like, if I don't learn this right now, then I'm just going to have to build up a new scenario and new experience in order to have the same opportunity to learn the exact same thing. So I might as well not waste any more of my time and energy and learn that right now, you know? And so that's kind of like I was saying, having that reoccurring dream of, you know, being at school, going back to school. You know, I went back to that same lesson, you know, even though it's years later, you know, I went back to that same lesson. And ever since then, I've never really had a relationship with any like direct supervisor or manager or anything like that. I've never had any boss. I've never had it anywhere near like that. You know, there's been bosses I didn't really care for, but not any that it was like some toxic kind of interaction. And so that was, you know, going back to that lesson. I finally learned that lesson, passed that test, but that is a reoccurring dream I hear a lot of people talking about having of going back to school, you know, retaking a test that they didn't prepare for, they didn't study for, kind of getting caught off guard, you know. And so whenever you have a dream like that, you just want to look at what lesson, what opportunity do I have to learn something that I've created a similar, I've experienced this before. You know, I'm in the same type of relationship, you know, or, you know, I'm having the same kind of money problems all over again. It's another month, but I'm still, you know, it's the 28th of the month, 3 days until the 1st, and I'm still $400 short. Again, this happened 2 months ago, it happened 7 months ago, it happened a year ago, it's been happening for 5-6 years. You know, I'm having the same kind of experience with the same lesson. You know, you just want to look at your life and what's reoccurring in your life. You know, what kind of experiences are reoccurring? And so that's really going to help you identify, you know, what this reoccurring dream it shares with you. You know, looking at the symbols, of course, is definitely going to help you to notice that. But also looking at what is reoccurring within my life, the different what experiences are reoccurring, what type of relationships are reoccurring. You know, you want to look at that and help you identify what's reoccurring within your life. Another reoccurring dream that I hear a lot of people have is that their teeth have fallen out. You know, and so I've talked about teeth falling out a little bit in some of the other live streams, but I'll go over it again tonight. So like I said, you know, when you're learning a lesson in life, you have knowledge or something to understand that you can pull from that. You know, like take for instance, we'll say the experience, the example I just shared of like not having enough money for your rent. You know, so that's like a poverty consciousness that you have. You know, so you need to understand more about prosperity and abundance. And so that's what you have the opportunity to learn and understand. So as you have that experience and you do learn more about abundance and learn more about prosperity, that understanding then is stored within your consciousness as a permanent part of yourself, because then that knowledge you can take forward with you for the rest of this life. You can take it forward with you into the next life, you know, because there's a lot of things that each of you, if you look at, you know, your life and how you came up, there's a lot of things that you realize you understand that other people have a hard time understanding. You know, like for me, being considerate is like a very natural understanding that I notice a lot of people is very hard for them to understand. You know, like growing up, that was probably like the only type of person I didn't get along with was somebody who was just completely inconsiderate, you know, and I just didn't like being around people like that. But then I realized it's just something that they haven't understood and they have an opportunity to understand. That's their karma, you know, whereas for me, it's my dharma. It's something I can just exude naturally to give someone else an opportunity to look at and emulate, learn through emulation or learn through observation. And so we have these understandings that we make a permanent part of ourselves. But how do we do that? You know, so like I said, food represents knowledge in a dream. And the reason is because that food, when we eat food, we take it, put it into our mouth, we break it down with our teeth, and then we swallow the food. Our body extracts the nutrients from that, or the knowledge extracts the nutrients, and it becomes a permanent part of our body. You know, my fingers, my hands, my face, my eyes, my organs, my liver, my lungs, my heart, all was food at one point, or water. You know, that my body then took the nutrients from that and turned it into the body. And so, and then the waste, you know, the parts of the food that we don't need, our body lets go of, or, you know, it stores somewhere if it don't, you know, if it's depending on the food you're eating. And so, but essentially it should let that waste go, and you need to release it. So it's very, very similar to our life experiences. You know, we need to take our life experiences, break that down, and then we can, once we break it down, it's easier to digest. When we break down the life experiences that we're having, it's easier to digest, to extract the learning from that, and then be able to let go of the rest, you know? So a lot a lot of, I think about my Tai Chi teacher every time I talk about, letting things go, because he was always on it. You need to let it go. Relax, let it go. You're always so tense. When I was a new student, and every time I see a new student, you're always so tense. You think you're relaxed as you can get, but your shoulders are all, you standing in there like this, thinking you're fully relaxed, until you just relax. And he always let it go. But it's so hard to let things go, especially in our culture, in our society. It's so hard to let things go. But it's a lot easier to let things go in your life. Different experiences you have, it's a lot easier to let them go once you've learned something from that experience. If you have some sort of animosity towards your parents over the way you were raised, or different experiences as a child, it's a lot easier to let that go if you've understood what you have to learn through going through that experience. It becomes a lot easier to let it go. Not that it is easy, but it's a lot easier once you've actually found a good thing that has come from that. If it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't understand strength, or I wouldn't understand compassion, or I wouldn't understand, resilience. So because of that, and now this, this strength, or this compassion, this resilience has brought so much into my life. And so if it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't have understood this in order to become who I am. So when you do that, then it's a lot easier to let go of the things that happen. But like I said, back to the recurring dreams, the recurring dream that I'm talking about is like teeth falling out. So if that's what eating in a dream symbolizes, and food symbolizes, then the teeth part of it are the tools that you use to break down the food. So like I said, food is the understanding within life experiences. So your teeth are going to represent the tools that you have in your waking conscious life, and that allow you to break down your life experiences. That way you can extract the learning. So different things like it could represent memory. Memory is a great way to because if you have a little bit of memory but not a sharp memory, then you're going to miss details. You're going to confuse details and mix up details of the experience, to where it'll be harder to break it down, harder to let things go, harder to understand. Concentration, attention. It could be visualization, any type of thing of like any type of mental tool, such as those, or dreams. Dreams is a great, probably the number one tool for breaking down your life experiences, because that's exactly what your dreams do. They break down your life experience. Like, look, this is what is going on within your life experiences, how your mind is reacting to them. So if you have a dream of teeth falling out, it's probably most certainly nine times out of 10 is pointing to the fact that you are not utilizing your dream interpretation. You're not utilizing your dreams, the tools that you have, in order to break down your the way you're using your mind. And so that's because like I said, if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you're not using your teeth, you're gonna lose them. So in the dream, they're falling out of your mouth, and so it's just showing that you aren't paying attention to your dreams, or you aren't utilizing your memory. Exercise your memory. Practice memory exercises. If you need a memory exercise, I can share one with you. Send me a message. I'll shoot you one that I practice all the time. I don't really practice it so much anymore. I just utilize my memory throughout the day, each day, different ways. But for like 5 years straight, every single day, I practice memory exercise. Memory is phenomenal when I can compare it to other scenarios in my life. I can really see the difference in my memory compared to how it was, 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. And so it's good. It's a mental muscle, just like any other muscle that needs to be exercised. When you exercise it regularly, it'll strengthen. So maybe the teeth falling, I was talking about your teeth or your memory, not really utilizing that. Same with concentration. Concentration is a mental muscle that you need to strengthen, and by working it out every day, regularly, finding a concentration exercise to practice for just 5 minutes every day, or for 10 minutes every day, or maybe it could be talking about dreams. So study your dreams, write down your dreams. Even if you don't understand how to interpret dreams, or don't have any way to understand, which you do, you can go to the YouTube page. I just put up a video on food last week. I'm putting up a video on light later this week. And I got other ones, people, places, vehicles, all type of different symbols, water, and it's just growing. We'll get all type of symbols. If there's one that you want me to do next, shoot me a message, let me know, and I'll put that one up in front of the order of the other ones that I got coming. So there's going to be a big database. So you have the tools in order to learn how to interpret your dreams at the tip of your fingers for free. You don't have to go buy a book. You don't have to go consult with somebody. You can just, find it on YouTube for free and be putting that together more and more and amassing that database. So, so like I said, man, the number one things. All right, cousin Stacy, I'll send you the memory exercise to let you know. I just shared it with 2 coworkers today. We were at work studying some new material, and they're just looking like this guy isn't writing down any notes, and he is remembering everything. He's answering everything. He's getting all the exercises, correct, and he ain't taking no notes at all. Wondering how I'm doing it, and I just shared, well, this is how I did it. I mean, it's just the result of years of work, but you can do it too. You start doing it 3 months later, you're gonna notice a difference. And so I'll send you that, Stacy. I'll probably put a video together here in the next. I've been wanting to do it, but just been wanting to finish out this universal laws series and put together more dream interpretation. So you can look forward to that. For everybody else who doesn't message me, you can look forward to that as far as the memory exercise. But like I said, practice it every day, then it'll strengthen. It's a muscle, just like your arms. If you want big, strong arms, you're gonna have to practice and work out regularly. If I only work out once a week or once a month, I'm not really gonna get stronger. I'm just gonna get weaker, slower. And so you want to be diligent, be disciplined with that, implement the willpower, and so that's just a recap on reoccurring dreams. Main thing that it's showing you is that there's some sort of lesson or some sort of experience that's happening over and over again in your life. So take a look at your life experiences. Take a look at the symbols within the dream, what's going on in the dream, and it'll be easier to identify the life experiences that it's talking about. And then make sure, like I said, number one most important thing with dream interpretation is implementing the message into your life. If somebody comes out here right now and tells me, that everything's catching on fire, but I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. Everything's on fire. All right. And I still keep on sitting here talking to y'all, then that message is going to do no good for me. The message, it's purpose, it's meaningless. I might as well not even receive the message if I don't do anything with it. So when you get these messages from your dreams, make sure you're implementing it into your life. Otherwise it's pointless. Otherwise you're pretty much telling your subconscious mind like, oh, I'm just here for the fun and games. Oh, I'm just here so I can learn how to lucid dream and take off flying. So make sure you're implementing the messages into your life. You're the one that's going to benefit from the results of it. So I definitely, if above all else, do it for yourself. So I'll leave you on that note. Remember your dreams, record your dreams, interpret your dreams, and apply the message. And so look forward to next week. Be on the lookout next week. We're going to be talking about lucid dreams and talking about how to lucid dream, the purpose of lucid dreams, and the highest purpose that you can have for lucid dreaming. And so we'll be talking about that. I'll give you a lot of tips on remembering your dreams. If you really want to learn how to lucid dream, then you'll start writing down your dreams or keep writing down your dreams starting tonight up until that night. So I'll give you a little tip. Number one rule for lucid dreaming is writing down your dreams, remembering your dreams, working with your dreams on a daily basis. So right there, even if you ain't interpret them, just write them down. Write them down this whole week, and it'll really set yourself up for success for what you receive next week on the lucid dream, Dreamwalkers. So I'll leave you on that note. Appreciate everybody for showing up, showing the love. I appreciate all of y'all, love all of y'all. And as always, I leave you in peace.